What's up, everybody? I want to talk to you about your rear sprocket and your Cush drive. Now, your Cush drive's deteriorated over the years, and if you're still using the original Cush drive and you haven't bought brand new OEMs, a good alternative is using one of these right here. It's not listed for our bikes, but I really like it. It's listed actually for the Hayabusa. Part number is SEN1001. Again, that's Schnitz Racing. This Cush drive makes it really tight when it's fresh, so you might have to spray a little lubricant in there, some kind of like dry wax, just to push it in there. And then I actually had to get a 45-pound weight to set on top of it so it would stay, or either once you get it pushed in, get it in that swing arm and get it tightened down, and eventually it'll all seat. But it gives a really tight fit once it sets. It has good response. I almost felt, maybe it was subliminal, but I felt like it even felt better on my throttle response because there wasn't as much give. But it's still, there is give to it. It's not solid. It's a hard silicone, kind of like when guys in their little Japanese cars upgrade their bushings and stuff on their suspension. It gets tighter and firmer. It still gives. It's the same kind of scenario. Now, talking about the Cush drive and the rear sprocket, you have to step out your rear sprocket at all for whether you go with a Cosman or you end up going with some of these bigger tires. You're squeezing on that 190. You put a slick on, and that lip is starting to rub that chain, especially if you're running a 525. You need to go to that 520 chain, but if you feel like you need to step it out just a little bit, I've talked before about using like a stainless steel or aluminum washer to step it out, or you can take an old 520 rear sprocket, have it cut and machined. But what I want to talk to you now is about, here's your OEM sprocket hub bolt, and when you start stepping out, you're going to lose threads. So go with something a little bit longer. Get stainless steel so it's a good product. Now, these are JIS hex bolts. They're 10 millimeter by 125 by 45 millimeter, and I got those from Bolt Depot. So whether you're going to step it out 2 millimeters or 4 or 5 millimeters, know that you're going to have to switch that out. And if you get it so far, you may even have to do some other things that we can talk about later. But when you start running this new rubber on, whether it's an old aftermarket 90s era correct wheel, or whether you're doing something with your OEM wheel, you need to be aware of that new rubber requirement. It might say it's 190, but a 190 today is not the same 190 of back in the 90s. And the reason I can tell you that, or at least that's my feeling of it, is I raced one of these 94 through 98. And back then it was like I ran the Dunlop 204s. I've always run Dunlops. I just feel good on them. I get the most confidence. I've tried other things and my confidence wasn't there. So a 204 then, that was a 180 or 190 compared to what it is today. It just seems to be a lot more meat on that rim, and you'll run into some clearance issues. I noticed that because I originally had tried to run a 530 and couldn't figure out why it was rubbing, where back in the 95, 94 era, things wouldn't rub when I ran a 530 chain. So something's going on there. Maybe some tire specialists can help give us some insight. But just want to give that to you. They don't sponsor me. I don't get anything. I just try and pass on as much information as I can. I like this product a lot. I think if you guys give it a try, you'll enjoy it. Again, these are you can find it listed for the Hayabusas. But good product, good response, good tight whenever you hit it. So once again, it's the Schnitz. They list I guess it's US phone number 1-260-728-9457. Schnitz Racing. All right, that's it. I hope that helps, because sometimes getting OEM Cush drive, sometimes they're not easy or it's very expensive. And I don't even know if there's a price on here, but I think it was like less than $50. All right, guys. Thanks.